It's not about a trial or verdict decided in a white supremacist charade. This is a get out of jail free card. A black man who has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for black freedom. Yeah, black people can do wrong shit sometimes. What are you talking about? Of course they can. This is fucking dumb as shit. Why? What's with this coat? I read something. Wasn't there a report that he jerked off one of the people at some point? This is absolutely embarrassing from Black Lives Matter. Jerks off attacker. What am I Googling? It's total cope and I'm sick of it, okay?
Yeah, it's problematic for him in a number of ways. The first of which is that
So he was just sat there waiting for police with this noose round him. They look pretty white to me. Why has he still got it on? Why has he still got it on? What's going on there? How could anyone look at that and not have questions? He's been found guilty of lying about the attack that happened on him, basically. He was found guilty of 5 counts of disorderly conduct. So there we go. He was method acting. So yeah. That's the deal. Now, what's annoying about this, right? What's annoying about this is I was kind of going to do a segment about it, and my perception was that pretty much everyone, has come out and said, "Oh yeah, Jussie Smollet, it was a lie. He shouldn't have lied. It was wrong." Da da da, and that's that, you know, right? My perception was everyone was on the same hymn sheet with this. We all agreed, oh yeah, it was probably fake. We'll wait to see what comes out of the court, but it seems like it was a bit, you know, it was a bit iffy, you know? But then I see this from Black Lives Matter from 7th of December, a few days ago. As abolitionists, we approach situations of injustice with love and align ourselves with our community because we got us. So let's be clear. We love everybody in our community. It's not about a trial or verdict decided in a white supremacist charade. I'm sorry, but this is just cope. This is just pure cope, okay? This is pure cope. You can have critiques of the structures of society and how they're built and what they're structured around, and that's fine, right? But how can you just turn around and say, oh, well, if there's a trial decided... this is just a get out of jail free card, isn't it? This is a get out of jail free card. Every single time something doesn't go the way that you think it should or you want it to, you can just turn around and go, yeah, it's a load of bullshit, isn't it? You know? Like, this is stupid. It's like a thought terminating cliche. Jesus Christ. It's about how we treat our community when corrupt systems are working to devalue their lives. In an abolitionist society, this trial would not be taking place, and our communities would not have to fight and suffer to prove our worth. Instead, we find ourselves once again being forced to put our lives and our value in the hands of judges and juries operating in a system that is designed to oppress us, whilst continuing to face a corrupt and violent police department which has proven time and time again to have no respect for our lives. In our commitment to abolition, we can never believe police, especially the Chicago Police Department. Okay. Listen, again, it's like we were talking about the CIA stuff, right? Be skeptical, okay? Absolutely be skeptical. There are numerous examples where police departments have been dishonest, particularly in like their initial assessment of things, their initial reports on things, right? But to say you can never believe police, I think that's a terrible thing. I think that's stupid, right? I don't think it's right to say never believe police. You're literally setting yourself up. Do you see what I mean? I think that's a really stupid... But be as skeptical as you want, right? No problem with that, yeah? Not a problem. But never believe police is a really bad fucking precedent to set, I think. And it's a really stupid thing to say. Especially Chicago Police Department over Jussie Smollet. A black man who has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for black freedom. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. While policing at large is an irredeemable institution, CBT is notorious for its long and deep history of corruption, racism, and brutality. I don't know much about the CPD, you know. But yeah, they probably suck, whatever. I don't fucking know much about them. From the murders of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark to the Burge tortures to the murder of Lacan MacDonald and subsequent cover-up to the hundreds of others killed by Chicago police over the years and the thousands who survived abuse. Chicago police consistently demonstrate that they are among the worst. Police lie, and Chicago police lie especially. Why plant your flag? Exactly. Why plant your flag behind this guy? Why plant your flag behind Jussie Smollet, someone who now seemingly lied about a hate crime attack? This is what's so frustrating, right? I wanted to be able to come out and say, oh, all the right-wingers are like jerking themselves off over all the lefties saying stupid shit about Jussie Smollett, but no one is. But they are. These people are. This is fucking dumb as shit. Black Lives Matter will continue to work towards the abolition of police in every unjust system. We will continue to love and protect one another and wrap our arms around those who do the work to usher in black freedom and by extension freedom for anyone else. And then they've got this poster. Oh my god. Listen, is this a hot take? Is this a hot take? Is it a hot take to say that black people can do stuff wrong sometimes? Is that racist to say? Like, what is this? Yeah, black people can do wrong shit sometimes. What are you talking about? Of course they can. Is that a hot take? Is it a hot take to say even if he's done some good stuff, yeah, maybe he did fake this crime? Is that racist to say? Is that a racist thing to say? And there's so many people out there who are there's so many people that are clowning on this guy. You don't need to. Why do this? This is crazy. Jussie Smollett is like considered a laughingstock. You know, I mean, listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain that in large parts of, like, you know, the black community, you know, black people talking about these issues, he is considered a joke. People have been shitting on him. I'm unable to do wrong. And if you think otherwise, it's racism. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is absolutely embarrassing from Black Lives Matter. Why defend this? Why defend this guy? There's literally no reason to defend this guy, okay? You know, you can literally just say, you can put out a statement and say, you know, we're watching to see the outcome of the trial. Obviously, we take violence against black people very seriously. You know, so we want to see the outcome or something like that. Why? What's with this cope? Oh my good God. And the problem you've got now, right, with all of this stuff, the problem that you've got now is it justifies some of these narratives that right-wingers are painting. I'd love it if I could come out and laugh at the right-wingers that are jerking themselves off over the outcome of the case. But then I see stuff like this and I'm embarrassed. I'm totally embarrassed. Why? Why have they done this? It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that this is actually a statement that these people have put out. What are they thinking? Oh my God, this is just headache inducing. What are the quote tweets like? Taking the Black Panther's name is so wrong. True. Support the idea of Black Lives Matter, not the organization. I don't know. Well, first of all, let's watch the lib take, okay? Let's watch the lib take first of all. So let's watch CNN's coverage.
In the Jussie Smollett trial, a verdict has not only been reached, it has now been announced. Sarah Seidner, you have the details.
That's right. Jussie Smollett, a jury has found that he is guilty of 5 of 6 counts of disorderly conduct. Now, of those 5 counts, I'm just going to sort of give you a little bit of what the law is there and what he was charged with and what he is now convicted of. On count 1, it was making a false police report that he was a victim of a hate crime to Officer Babe, one of the officers that took that report. The second count, they found him guilty of making a false police report that he was a victim of a battery to that same officer. The third count...
Also, I read something. Wasn't there a report that he jerked off one of the people at some point? Isn't it true? Isn't it true that at some point he jerked off one of the people that attacked him? Not during the attack, that would have been different, right? But like before that, there was some sort of thing that happened. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The jury found that he was guilty of making a false police report as the victim of a hate crime to another detective. And then on count 4, guilty of making a false police report that he was a victim of a battery to that same detective, Kimberly Murray. Count 5, they found him guilty again. Same thing, making a false police report, this time that he was a victim.
I don't think it was a self-defense move. Listen, I'm going to have to find it now. Jussie Smollet jerks off attacker. What am I Googling? What am I Googling here? Did I dream this? Did I? Was this some sort of weird dream? Please, don't tell me this was a dream. I'm pretty sure I read this somewhere. I use an incognito. Damn. I'm getting a lot of links to porn sites. That's a bit weird. I don't know what that's about. But I better not click on that. How he staged hoax. Please, someone link me something. Save me. Save me. Save me! I need to know that I'm right. A white Brit dreaming about a black man jerking off his racist attackers. Just a normal Thursday night for me, honestly. What's this? Is this a video? Is this a video of the attack?
The day ended during cross-examination, and Jussie Smollet.
Okay. Jussie Smollett testifies he had sexual relationship with prosecution witness. Okay, so that's enough for me. The jerking off bit could have been as part of that, surely. I think you misunderstood him beating off his attackers. It was all over the news. Everyone was talking about how he was beating off his attackers. Surely that's what that meant. Okay, let's continue watching this report, and then we'll watch some rightoid coverage, okay?
Of a battery, again, to that same police officer. And then on count 6, that is the only count that the jury found him not guilty, and that was for making a false police report that he was a victim of an aggravated battery. So, what we now know is that the judge will have to decide what his sentence is. We saw Jussie Smollet coming into court, as he has done.
We saw Jussie Smollett coming. Yeah, I bet he was. Whilst he was beating off his attacker, probably.
Every single day of this trial, surrounded by a large group of his family and supporters. He is now been found guilty by...
Okay, look. Captain Terrible, okay? If someone has done the due diligence and research and found, like, you know, some sort of insight that suggests the case was wrong, right? That's fine. That's not a problem, okay? Also, just generally pointing out that the legal structures that exist in American society, you know, historically, were built by and for the you know, for white people, essentially, to put it simply. And the effects of that are still felt today. The fact that there's disparate sentencing outcomes in American court system, whatever it is, right? Whatever the situation, right? You can point all that out and you can talk about that, okay? What I'm getting really sick of, though, is when a court decision goes a certain way and people just go, well, it's a white supremacist court system, isn't it? It's a white supremacist. It's just a total cop-out. It's cope. It's total cope, and I'm sick of it, okay? That's not, you know, that's just, you know, it's just... And the thing is as well, there have been cases recently where the court system has produced an outcome which presumably Black Lives Matter would agree with. So, like, how does that fit into your analysis? Or broken clocks right twice a day? I don't know. But don't give me cope. Not you, Captain Terrible, but just, you know, Black Lives Matter are giving cope, aren't they? I'm annoyed with it. Yeah, it's like, it's white supremacy when you don't like the verdict. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It just seems really silly to me. I think that a lot of this abolition narrative is just foolish. You know, listen, if I could click my fingers and immediately change everything, yeah, sure, I'd implement some sort of, like, system of justice or a system of, like, you know, keeping civil peace or whatever that doesn't look like the police or whatever. But pushing for, like, the abolition of the police, I just think that is, I don't really know if you're going to get anywhere with that, you know? I think that's far-fetched for, like, a political org the size of BLM to sort of push for, you know? Abolish the USA, yeah, why not? I'd make the system even more racist. Oh my god. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that I don't have a problem with people engaging in, like, you know, talking about abolition and stuff. I think there's a relevant aspect of, like, discourse to have there, whatever. But for me, BLM advocating for that just seems kind of silly. And the thing is, well, it was there's different orgs, right? You've got the BLM, what was it, Central Network or something, and then you've got like other orgs. I don't know. It's a bit confusing. BLM is the new boogeyman. What do you mean BLM is the new boogeyman? Did you not see the statement they just put out about Jussie Smollet? That was literal brainworm shit.
Of his peers here in Chicago. Again, 5 of 6 counts he's been found guilty on. And so a judge will have to decide what that punishment will be, because there is a range here, and the judge has great discretion to decide what he should face. The range is up to 3 years in prison and a $25,000 fine. The judge could decide all manner of things. He could decide that he just pays a fine. He could decide he doesn't spend not a day in jail. This will all be
someone confirmed about the jerking off thing. This is very important. We need to clarify this, okay? Right, I guess this is a quote from the court testimony. We went alone this time. We got a private room again. We did drugs and made out a little bit, and this time we masturbated together. But wait, that I still could have presented misinformation, because did they just masturbate together? As in, did they jerk themselves off, or did they jerk each other off? That maybe I could be wrong on that. In any case, I can confirm that they were both jerking off. It's unclear whether they're doing it to themselves or each other, though.
Up now to the judge, looking at all of the factors in this case, whether there are aggravating factors or not. One of the factors the judge will certainly look at is something that the prosecutors brought up. Not only that this jury has found him guilty.
Whoa. Just because they make a dumb statement, that means everything they advocate for is all just stupid. I never said that. I was quite pointed to say that this statement is stupid. It supports some of the stupid right-wing narratives. And if it was some random Twitter person, I wouldn't care. But it's the org itself that's making the statement, right? And further to that, if I think there's a thing that they're advocating for that I don't think works or think is silly, I'll say so. You know? Yeah, well, basically, from what we've seen, it does seem like BLM, a few days ago was saying that, it's a white supremacy court system. I looked at the document a moment ago, but yeah.
Guilty of 5 of 6 counts of disorderly conduct, but also whether or not he lied on the stand, for example, because in this case it is all about a lie. It's about a false report to police. It could also be about one of the potential aggravating factors, lying while on the stand as well. And so the judge will weigh all of that and then decide what his punishment may be in this case. As you know, if you hadn't heard of this case, it would be a surprise, because back in January of 2019, everyone around the country and even the world was talking about this alleged hate crime that he said was perpetrated on him. A jury decided that turned out to be a lie. Wolf?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't take it that you were saying this one statement discredits the entire org, more that the fact a credible org was making such a statement was problematic. Yeah, exactly. If some fucking 100-follower Andy on Twitter was saying it, I literally wouldn't care. Because who fucking cares? There's like 1 billion stupid comments on Twitter, right? But the fact that a credible org that's supposed to have this credibility is making that statement, that's the issue, you know? And the thing is, people are like, oh, is it this org, that org? It doesn't matter, right? They're using the BLM fucking branding, right? That's the issue. It's going to get associated with the entire thing. There's your fucking problem, okay?
Yeah, they certainly did. 5 of 6 counts. Guilty as charged. Stand by. I want to bring in CNN legal analyst Laura Coates and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Laura, let me start with you. What's your reaction?
You know, this case is more than just about the actual counts of this particular trial. It also is about how the city of Chicago felt as though he had exploited these very, very difficult topics of hate crimes, homophobia, racism, and tried to exploit and capitalize that, they say, for publicity and notoriety. And it seems that the jury...
And bear in mind, this isn't Fox News. This is CNN. This is CNN that's talking about this. Do you know what I mean? This isn't some rightoid... This is CNN going so heavy on it. Which makes sense to me. Like, this is, in my opinion, the correct way to go about it is, to offer the condemnation and talk about it like this. I think this is, the right way to do it.
actually concluded the same. And we think about hate crimes, which you know have been on the rise in this country over the past several years. Part of the frustration of the special prosecutor and the jurisdiction was that people are likely to be less believed if they are to report
CNN.
These falsehoods, that there would be some way of a credibility issue for future victims, unfortunately, of hate crimes, that if you provide this information, if you say these hoaxes, then you lessen the credibility of future victims of hate crime, which of course nobody wants to happen, let alone the actual crime occurring. So the jury has spoken quite definitively on this issue to say that they will not tolerate and think it was a waste of the resource of taxpayer dollars to try to engage in this behavior.
What do you think, Joey? How serious is this conviction on 5 counts of disorderly conduct?
Yeah, it's problematic for him in a number of ways. The first of which is that although
I love all the language. Problematic. Oh my god, I love that they're using all the official, you know, the official language. It's problematic.
as Sarah indicated, he faces a maximum of 3 years. The judge can give him probation, but as she also indicated, what happens is when you testify in a case, the judge now gets a sense of what you said. Now, what Jussie Smollet said was resoundingly rejected by that jury. The jury did not buy what he was selling. That's not lost upon a judge, because what that means is that you came into that judge's courtroom and you fabricated. Why do I add that in part to what I'm saying? I'm saying that because although the maximum is 3 years and the judge can give him probation, he now, that is a defendant, Mr. Smollet, now a convicted felon, I do believe has exposed himself to jail time. And I think this was a case many have said about credibility. I would disagree. I think it transcended credibility. It went more to whether or not your facts make sense. Briefly stated, Wolf, the things that he was saying just, did fit a narrative that was hard to believe. In the event that police have footage of you being at that particular location prior to that particular day, you have to kind of explain it. It's very difficult to give the indication that you had nothing to do with this when you're kind of seen at that location. It's kind of difficult when
Listen, I'm about to go off another tangent. I just want to say this, okay? One of the biggest errors, I think, that over the last sort of 5 years that I've kind of noticed is that people think that they absolutely have to defend Black Lives Matter in all circumstances. Or they're somehow racist or something like that, which is literally crazy. It's literally crazy talk. Any org, be ruthlessly critical of all that exists, there's some crazy shit that's happened with Black Lives Matter, It's literally racist. How is criticizing the organization of Black Lives Matter racist? How is that racist at all? The issue is in if you kind of want to disagree or do some stupid ass all lives matter shit or something like that. Oh, sorry. It's not racist thinking it is racist right. Sorry, I misunderstood. Sorry, I understand now. I got it confused. Sorry, I'm primed. I'm primed to argue with people who say something I disagree with. You need to criticize orgs you support when they say things that hurt their own credibility. Yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and the thing is as well is, I don't know, I just think that this has been a common thing, and it's allowed the right to just push whatever fucking crazy narratives they want about Black Lives Matter, and people feel like they're on the back foot and they've got to defend or something like that, But yeah, if they do something stupid or say a statement that you disagree with, and the thing is as well. The other thing as well is it's not even just a white boy take, yeah? There are activists that happen to be black people, and also Black Lives Matter chapters that have come out and spoken out about some of the issues they've got with the wider org and stuff like that, I mean, maybe they would disagree with me about what I'm saying about the Jussie Smollet stuff, to be fair, but by the same token, it just demonstrates that you can be critical of things. It's fine, as long as you're not being racist. That's the main thing. Chud doesn't have the nuts to voice up. What are you talking about? I voice up all the time.
A $3,500 check that you've allegedly paid these brothers to say it was just nutrition. It's kind of difficult when the police say, sir, give me your phone because I just want to check it out. And you say no, to say, well, you know what? I didn't trust the police, or I don't want any DNA. So I'll stop there, but I'm just saying the facts were very compelling, and the narrative he was telling in terms of this hate crime, and really factually, it just didn't make sense with respect to all the facts that really went against him. And so I think the jury did their job, right? We're thankful for a jury system in this country that can listen to facts, evidence.
CNN going hard into this. What was their coverage like at first? Were they one of the outlets that was like, oh, Jussie Smollet, another terrible crime has been committed?
Really reach conclusions. That's what they did. He's guilty, and now he'll face sentencing.
And Laura, he's not only convicted of lying to police officers in the course of the investigation, but also, he's not formally charged, but I'm sure the judge will have to consider the fact that he was, at least according to the jury, lying under oath during the course of the trial.
Oof.
And remember, he took the stand in his own defense. I mean, he was prepared to speak and be contrary to what the prosecution witnesses said, including those two brothers who say that they were the ones paid to commit this hoax in defiance of what we know to be logical and our understanding of hate crimes in this country in particular, and to have this hoax as if it was some sort of a publicity scam. And so him taking the stand led to his exposure in the way that Joey has spoken about. It leads to the exposure, of course, of a judge now looking at...
Yeah. I do remember most, but there's levels to it, right? Listen, to be fair, I think within reason, I think just reporting on the fact like a hate crime happened or something like that, or a suspected hate crime, I should say. You should probably use the right language, or whatever the language is, alleged, suspected, etc. I think that's fine. But I think, I tell you what probably caught these outlets out is the editorializing, right? The editorializing, that's the word, isn't it? All the editorial shit that they did, all of the commentary, all of the opinion pieces. That's what would have fucking fucked them up. And the other problem you've got as well is oftentimes editorial, think piece, commentary and news get blended into one now. So you don't have a clear cut, right, this is like the news, and then we're gonna, it's blended in quite a lot these days, So yeah, why Demastra? Because it was a funny meme at the time. I need a command that explains it in chat. I mean, as a gay black man, Don Lemon would feel pretty empathetic to such a hate crime were it real. And I don't have a problem with people giving commentary and stuff. But I think coming to firm conclusions about breaking news is the problem. I think we've learnt that quite a lot recently, haven't we? Right? People come to really firm, hard, unmovable conclusions before all of the facts are out. And without going back and looking, I'm fairly certain that outlets like CNN would have engaged in this.
You and taking every single word you say and adding it against and assessing it against the credibility of other witnesses. And remember, he also is an actor. I mean, our colleague Paul Callan spoke about this issue quite eloquently last week, and the notion of, listen, if somebody were to take the stand, the jury is well aware and they're sizing up the person for credibility. They're wondering about the person's demeanor, their presentation, the way in which they defend themselves. They're going to expect a particularly polished presentation, which cuts against you, because if they believe you are constructing a narrative in a case that is defined by the construction of a false narrative, it could actually weigh against you. And so it's probably a very big calculated strategy for them. And now,
yeah, hang on, yeah, exactly. Jussie Smollet's supposed to be an actor. He ain't going to get hired for many roles after this. You think it's because of the criminal conviction? Nah, it's because he wasn't able to convince the jury on the stand. People are going to be like, oh yeah, well, listen, Jussie, we liked your audition, but we just don't feel you'd be very convincing in the role, okay? Because your past history here as a hate crime victim, you didn't act that very convincingly, did you, when you were on the stand?
We may see a miscalculation, of course, by the defense team to call him to the stand. But you're talking about a case that, remember, they had initially dismissed these charges. He had forfeited a bail. He had done community service. A special prosecutor was appointed to say, no, we don't agree, and look into this notion of somebody having a case dismissed. It was viewed as celebrity privilege going awry. Here, the jury has responded to all of these factors. And as Joey said...
Wait, so is the point there that the reason the case was dismissed in the first place was because allegedly it was because of his connections or something, because he was an actor? Because someone in the chat was saying that the case was dismissed first time round. Not gonna lie, I don't think he'll get the role otherwise. Oh yeah, what was that about the NOOS? Wasn't it that he had a noose around him when he was found? And people were like, why don't you take the noose off? Why did you keep it around you? Is that right? So he was just sat there waiting for police with this noose around him. And then the police turned up. They're like, why have you got a noose around your neck? Oh, they attacked me and they put that on me. Why don't you take it off? Well, I didn't want to interfere with evidence. Wait, is that serious? Wait, are you wait, this is I vaguely remember the new. I get confused though because there was that other thing where there was a noose at like there was a noose at some car like NASCAR thing or something, and people thought it was a racial thing, but it was just like a pulley or something like that. People got it wrong. But there was also a noose in the Jussie Smollet thing, and and he was still wearing it back at his apartment. You say he still had a noose round his head. Is that serious? Listen, link to the body cam footage.
How's it going?
Oh no, I just need to make sure I report this.
Okay, what's going on? I'm sorry?
The guy upstairs really doesn't want to. Can you come to the apartment?
Comes to the apartment, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Here come the coppers. White coppers, from the looks of it. This guy's got gloves on, so I can't tell. They look pretty white to me.
Audibly and visually recorded right now.
And I just feel like,
Okay, we get the idea.
and the thing that bothers me the most is kind of loose makes any sense.
White supremacy strikes again. Audio redacted by police. Okay.
Come on in, sir.
Any weapons or anything inside the apartment? Okay.
So I explained to them how you will
Wait, is he wearing the noose there?
get something in. And the reason I'm calling because
Why has he still got it on? Why has he still got it on? What's going on there? Why would you keep that on if you take it off? You take it off and you'd be like, oh yeah, oh god, yeah, they attacked me. There's the noose there that they attacked me with. Why would you keep it on? That doesn't add up, does it? I never saw this either. This is fucking hilarious. Where's the part where they jerk each other off, or is that in the deleted scenes? Oh my god, come on.
You want to take it off or anything?
yeah, I do.
Do you want to take it off? Even the coppers are like, why has he got that on? The coppers like, listen, just take it off. Just take it off. It's a bit weird. That is so sussy.
You're filming us, right?
Yeah, this is all being
If you want, if it's in his house,
They're filming you.
you're being audio and
Like audio. That I guess when they didn't know when they were walking into the door. Okay, so can we turn it
Yeah,
off?
no one called
yeah,
cut,
you're
so we didn't know when
giving
to
us
take it
permission to
off.
shut it off.
Oh my god, that is absolutely hilarious. I didn't know about that. I didn't know he kept it on and still out on his apartment. I thought maybe he was like on the street and the police turned up and had it on, which might make more sense. But he went back to his apartment wearing the noose. What did he say to the people that he walked by? People must have been looking at him going, is that Jussie Smollet? Wait, why has he got a noose around his neck? That's a bit weird. What's going on there? Maybe there's some sort of scene he's filming and we just don't know about it.
If it doesn't add up, if the prosecution is able to meet their burden, which here they did in 5 out of 6, well, the jury has spoken and the judge must abide by that in his or her presentation of the sentence.
You know, Sarah, you've been covering the trial the whole time over there. First of all, what's the mood like on the ground? Does this verdict, guilty on 5 of 6 counts, come as a surprise?
It does not, only in that when you look at what the evidence was, there were surveillance videos. There were hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of video.
Hey fam, I see you on Empire. Why you got a noose on? Is this a new bit, bro?
Videos that police went through. Some of those were brought into this case. There was testimony from these 2 brothers, which I think is very significant because the 2 brothers, the Osundario brothers, clearly knew him. There was clearly a relationship he had One of them was his trainer. And to have them take the stand was extremely significant and say, look, we did do this. We were wrong. We did this, but we were told to do this. We were doing this because we were given $3,500 and we were told, not to hurt him that bad, just rough him up a little bit. There was also the video with the NOOS, and that video really came back, I think, in the end to bite Jussie Smollet, in that police came to him and they had, and you're seeing it there, they had their body cams on when he was reporting what had happened to him. And you see the noose there, you see it sort of around his neck, it's kind of disheveled. The prosecution pointing out, hey, it's very disheveled there, but when we first saw it, it wasn't disheveled. What happened? Did you take it off and put it down and then put it back on and mess it up so it looked like a worse crime, that someone was trying to like pull it and lynch you? And he said, well, yes, I took it off, but it was because I put it back on for police because I was told by a colleague that I shouldn't.
Wait, so he took it off and then he put it back on again. Oh my God, it gets better. So he did take it off, but then he put it back on for when the coppers turned up. Oh my God, that is unbelievable.
Have messed with the evidence, that I shouldn't have tampered with it, so I put it back on. He said the exact opposite during an interview to GMA.
Oh no.
When he sat down with Robin Roberts, he told everyone in the world on camera that he indeed had never taken it off. So there were lots of inconsistencies that were pointed out in this case. But one last thing, one of the things that has really upset folks in the Chicago area about this is the amount of time the police and money the police spent on trying to solve this crime that a jury has said is a hoax, when there are so many other crimes and things that are happening in this city that people feel like the police should be concentrating on, i.e. the shootings and murders.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesse, did they put the cock cage on you as well? Yeah, that was part of it, yeah. Some weird sexual thing they did. Did you jerk them off as well? Yeah, I was desperately trying to get them off me. So I just reached for whatever I could, and one of them was for some reason erect. I started jerking them off. This story gets better and better by the minute. Why would anyone? Okay, listen, I'm going to revise my position a bit on this, right? Bearing in mind, when did this come out? When did that camera footage come out of the body cam footage? Was that quite soon to when it happened? How can anyone look and be like, oh yeah, he's got a noose on, in like, that whole thing was so weird. The whole video of them walking in and stuff, like a week later. How could anyone look at that and not have questions? Yeah, I mean, if he was able to spin this in the way he wanted, presumably he would have, like, well, I mean, BLM released that statement, didn't they? You know? Incredible. Incredible memes.